Hi, and welcome back to another episode of SEO On-Air. I'm your host, Aaron, and today we have Manick Bhan, CTO and founder of LinkGraph. He's also the creator of SearchAtlas, an SEO software for businesses to use. We talk about his journey, the challenges he faced, and what he looks forward to in 2024. I hope you enjoyed this episode. How did it all start?
It started with my first startup, which is a company called Ruckus.com, which was a live entertainment ticketing company similar to StubHub. If you've ever bought tickets on an app like StubHub or Viagogo or SeatGeek, those were some of our competitors. And what was cool about us was that we had these virtual reality seat views and these interactive seating charts where you could see your seat down to the row, and we had these beautiful high resolution images of the seats that we actually were able to create ourselves. So we sent a team of people out to 800 stadiums all across the United States, and we paid for all that with literally hotel points. So we didn't actually have to pay anything out of pocket to do this. It was pretty cool. And we had built this glove that allowed us to take and stitch these high resolution images together. So at the very end, after sending these teams out all across the country, we had built a database of these high resolution images that we called Seat 360. And it became quite big and massive. We were featured in Manhattan. We were in every single New York City taxi cab with our technology that was played as you were sitting down into the cab and going on your merry way. You would see C360 and you'd see Ruckus. So it was a very exciting time. But we were as much success as we had with some of our technology. We really had a big struggle ranking well in Google. And, we had raised $5.5 million, which may sound like a lot of money, but in our industry, $5.5 million is lunch money relative to our competitors who can spend that in, the week leading up to the Super Bowl, like nothing. So we had to be really scrappy and really lean and thoughtful. And going up against these gargantuans in Google, a lot of people don't totally really understand what Google is. To me, Google is probably the number one company in almost every industry. One of the biggest businesses in ticketing is Google, because the way that you find your tickets is you go to Google, you search for something, you then click on an ad that one of the companies has put up there. Maybe you click on the organic search results too. But anyways, Google monetizes every industry. They're kind of the gorilla. And so was true in our space. And so we had to figure out how SEO worked. And so eventually getting to digital marketing and like why I ended up going this path in my career was it really started with a mystery, which is how does Google's ranking engine work? Why does it work that way? And why was my company not able to beat our competitors on Google?
One question I wanted to ask, which I think I might know the answer to, but during this entire time where you felt like you were like after the tech selling had done and you were in that space where you're feeling a bit humble, did you ever feel that this might not be for you and you might need to change a different route altogether? Or did you kind of have like some motivation to keep going and, pursuing what your passion really was?
Yeah. So there was never a moment where I felt that this would be a fruitless endeavor. And the reason why is that Google is, I think, one of the most important companies in the world, specifically because search engines are so important. And I see search engines as one of the most foundationally important tools to humanity today, just as important as like a combustion engine or a microscope or the printing press or any other groundbreaking and influential technology. Google is the gateway to information for anything, and the total economic value of search that's generated not just through ads but through organic as well globally it's got to be over $5 trillion. So somewhere in there, this work we were doing, the research we were doing, I knew was going to have some commercial value, but we just had to keep going to be able to figure out what that is and how to find it. Obviously, if we could get one business ranking on page one of Google, we could do that for 2, 10, 100, 1,000.
Right.
But it was really about figuring out the playbook and how to build that playbook. And that playbook has been what we've been evolving and creating and learning about over the last many years.
Right. So, if you don't mind, for our viewers and listeners, could you give us a little bit of intro to this playbook?
Yeah. So, when we look at Google, when we've done our research, we've studied thousands of potential ranking factors. We've looked at on-page factors, we've looked at off-page factors, we've looked at metrics from companies like Moz, Ahrefs, SEMrush, Majestic. We've looked at all kinds of different factors, thousands of them. And as we digest those factors, we break them into really four potential quadrants. What I like to call the four pillars of SEO. And those pillars are authority, which is driven by your backlink profile, the sites that are linking to you. And that's the authority ranking factor. Second one is content. That would be your blog posts. That would be the content on your landing pages. And we have quantitative ways of evaluating and quantifying your content score that Google is essentially doing as well on their side when they analyze your pages. And another factor called knowledge-based trust, KBT, which is essentially a sum of all of the facts that you've put out on your website that are factually accurate and informative and interesting that they index. So the content ranking factor, we figured out ways using SearchAtlas and our technology to boost those content ranking signals to Google and have them view a website as a high authority website within its niche. So that's the second ranking factor, content. The third one is technicals. And for large websites, especially that have thousands or millions of pages, one of the most significant ranking factors for those websites are its technicals, the title tags, the meta descriptions, the way that the site internally links, its ability to productively manage its crawl budget, and all these sort of more technical factors that are at play. And then the final one is page experience, which I would call kind of UX signals, which is how Google uses its data set, which comes from three sources: Chrome, all the Chrome browsers, all the millions of people that use Chrome. Google studies their activity, what they click on, what websites they go to. They also use Google Analytics data to understand websites and how important websites are and how quality sites are as well. And then the third place that they get that data from is the search results page themselves, their own first party data, where they're able to see what people are doing when they search for something. They click on something, maybe they work their way back and they click on something else, which is called pogo sticking. Google looks at all that information and uses that as a part of their ranking engine as well. So those are the four components of ranking factors as we see them. And what we've specialized in is a holistic SEO approach, a holistic SEO blueprint, which I actually teach in my SEO course, which is on SEOtheory.com. If you want to learn more about that, we basically dive into the literature and the science behind SEO. As I like to say, SEO is math, not magic.
Right. But what were, let's say, some of the hurdles you had to go across to actually get to this point?
I think one of the biggest struggles, and this is specifically around SEO, is finding something that actually works and that you can quantitatively measure and say, if I do this, I will get a positive result. Over the last 2-3 years, we've had to do so many experiments and try things. And I think one of the hurdles is that so much of the knowledge that's out there is wrong. People learn SEO from sites like the Moz blog and Search Engine Journal, and a lot of the information on these websites and the way that they tell you to practice SEO has actually not been tested and is factually inaccurate. A lot of these sites, I'll give you a few examples. A lot of these sites talk about how, hey, don't cloak text on the page. Don't have text in display none elements. If you want Google to see it and give you the benefit of ranking it, it has to be visible on the page. That's not true. Some of those issues that Google's had with cloaked text, white text and a white background, they still haven't fixed. So a lot of that type of kind of commonplace wisdom is wrong. There's even a lot of people that talk about duplicate content and how duplicate content doesn't work on websites and how if Google sees duplicate content, it won't rank you. There's a lot of this kind of, I would say, like untested, but it sounds about right type of knowledge being peddled in the industry. And what we're seeing is that it's not true. Obviously, Google can change the ranking algorithm at any point in time. So, am I an advocate for putting in cloaked text on a page? I'm not. I'm not saying that, what everyone needs to do to improve their SEO is to do these, weird strategies. But I do think that through experimentation and through testing these things on test websites, we can learn a significant amount about how Google actually works. And by learning about that, instead of putting our efforts in SEO in the wrong direction toward things that don't work as well, maybe like citation building, maybe like, continually updating titles and metas on pages, maybe
Right.
things like lower order type of work that is just not going to have the payoff to make SEO a self-sustaining and profitable strategy.
I've never really heard anyone say that, let's say, black hat SEO techniques are something you should do. And I'm not saying that you're saying that as well. But I feel like if there isn't, let's say, any real change, if you are, let's say, keyword stuffing or masking your text, and you're not really getting penalized for it, I feel like the only reason why people like you and I don't do it is because we just feel bad doing it. We know that there are more healthier techniques to use, but we wouldn't want to go back to, let's say, the olden days, when SEO wasn't really that great, and go back to those techniques. But I'm not really too sure if we go to those techniques, if it will still work out the same way. I'm not too sure or I haven't really seen any website really get heavily penalized for it still. So I'm kind of interested that you talked about it, because after all the guests I've spoken to, not one person was like, hey, you know what? The algorithm ranking factors might be wrong.
Well, yeah. So I think the broader question is what role, if any, do what quote unquote black hat SEO strategies have to play in a
Right.
in an SEO campaign? And this notion of black and white, I don't really like, because I think it's too binary, and not
Right.
all strategies that fall into one category or another. Anything that anything that is I think long term um, going to cause penalization to a website, things like automated link building, link spam, things
Right.
like this, I think are unequivocally not the way to go. But there are
Right.
some other approaches that I would say are like black hat SEO isn't the destination, but there are some methodologies, and it's kind of hard for me to talk about this without being specific, but I'll just try to like sum this point up. Some of those
No worries.
approaches in the short run can help you test things and move forward faster and get to a point where you can determine, hey, does it actually make sense for me to update this landing page with all of this NLP information? Should I put it into the page, or should I not do it? It might take a writer and a design team and a developer a couple weeks to make a bunch of updates to the website. But through some of these other techniques, you can make and test those changes and see what effect they'll have on rankings within like less than an hour by just putting them into the page, and then determine if you want to make the overall update to the page in a proper way that's also designed for users and not just the robots. So
Right.
yeah, it's a very nuanced conversation, and I would really encourage everyone to do your own experimentation. Don't do it on your client sites. Don't do that, but
Right. Right.
have some of your own domains, your own publications, your own little websites, your microsites you can run your experiments on and see how they work. Uh, we've got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of websites that we control and we run experiments on, and we have these sites for a very specific purpose. It's so that we can test out our theories and see how Google really works. And it's through those sites and successful experiments that we've learned some of the gold that is now a part of our SEO playbook.
Where is the future for Manick and LinkGraph and SearchAtlas? Where do you see things going in the next couple of years?
Yeah. So we really try to operate from a place of service. So we want to have an impact in a meaningful way for our clients, our partners, our subscribers that are in our community. So really, we're very attentive to their needs and helping them be successful through SEO, and that's the way that I give back. So over the next few years, what I'm looking forward to doing is building a more strong community of people within SEO theory, and educating them and teaching them the things that we're learning. Also doing more experiments and pushing the kind of cutting edge on Google even further, and doing more and more of that to have a bigger impact on this industry, and also to take the financial success that we expect will continue to come in, and to reinvest that in the community, but also to reinvest that in the world around us, and to contribute positively through our philanthropy.
If you had like a minute or 2 minutes to kind of shout out again anything you want to shout out, either a small advertisement for LinkGraph or SearchAtlas.
I'll try to be as shameful as possible. I don't want to like overly promote myself, but
Nice.
I'm really proud of SearchAtlas, which is our SEO platform that's really made for agencies. Talking to you guys about how you guys might benefit from using it as well. We've pretty much been able to KO needing to use all other third-party SEO tools, including Ahrefs and SEMrush, for research, as well as other content optimization software tools that are out there. And we've built an all-in-one platform that's really meant for agencies that they can white label and that they can use to do everything in SEO all within one umbrella. And we've got great tutorials and great SOPs so that you as the business owner or the manager of the agency can give your team the information they need to go from a okay SEO agency to a excellent SEO agency, offering the best in class products and services for your clients. So definitely want to shout that out. Also, the SEO theory community is a big part of the work that I do, which is teaching and instructing and helping other agencies become successful. So I spend a lot of time answering questions and doing one-on-ones with people to educate them and help them level themselves up. So if you want more on that, check out SEOtheory.com. And if you're interested, feel free to register and join our Facebook group where where I'm there every day, working with people and answering their questions and helping them level up their SEO as well. And then for an event that we're going to, I'm going to be speaking at SEO Spring Training, which is run by the amazing and brilliant Terry Samuels. He's built an amazing community, and he's got a lot of SEO knowledge to share as well. And so I'm looking forward to going there and speaking and sharing the latest research that we've been doing with that community as well.
Thank you for everything. It's been a great chat.
No, thank you so much, Aaron. It's an honor to be here and a privilege. And looking forward to building a more successful community and empowering more agencies and more SEOs to be successful going into the new year.
Thanks for watching that episode. I hope you enjoyed. For more videos like this, make sure you like and subscribe.